Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Henshins. So we are talking about Kamen Revice, episode 41. This was another decent step up from what we had been getting for most of the 30s. Um, I think they did a pretty good job with it, but we'll get into the details. Um, as we start the episode, we see that Daiji is still currently working with Akaishi. End of the last episode, Akaishi had taken him away from getting, his ass beat by his brother, and saying, no, don't touch him. He's my family. Blah blah blah, whatever that means. This like random heel turn goofy thing here, where all of a sudden Akaishi is remembering his like human emotions and feelings. I don't know. I don't think they're trying to redeem him, but again, it's a little too little too late. Like again, I think the problem with him, and to an extent what they're doing with Daiji, is that it's happening way too late. We should have started some of these things way earlier when Akaishi was first introduced, and he should have been introduced honestly, not episode one, but earlier than we got him. Honestly, he's introduced pretty late, and then it's like instantly something's wrong with him, something's going on, he's a villain, whatever, and that's it. And so like I appreciate they're doing something with him, but at the same time, so basically, there's a scene with Daiji and Akaishi and Vale, and before this, Vale had just gotten his ass beat, and he's like starting to disappear a little bit. Not like before when he run out of some energy. He's literally like almost dying. He in one part gets his ass beat pretty hard by Vice, and he asks what's going on, and Akaishi's like, well, Gift didn't really give you a full body. He gave you like the illusion of a body, but he can't give you like a full physical body. Like it was only gonna last so long. And so he opens up a case and it's got a bunch of copies of the stamps. He just keeps stamping them, whatever. And he does this weird thing where he's like, up Daiji, he's like straightening his hair. He's like, I always knew you would support me and blah, 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 blah. We can still work together. And Daiji's still working with him. I think when Akaishi did that, Daiji was kind of looking at him like, the fuck you touch me for? But anyway, um, so essentially, Gift comes through and doesn't even say anything, just like menacingly stares at them, and like a blast of energy comes out, and then he leaves. And Akashi basically says that Gift is getting impatient and wants humanity to submit and stop fighting back and blah blah blah. We also get the introduction of the troops, the rider troops in this, the demons and is it demons and over demons, rider troops, which they have the like they've been talking about the mass-produced demons driver with the trooper version of the stamps, and they transform. The two we see do it in like almost like a commercial is what it looks like. Uh, I think both are suit actors, so it's kind of cool to see them do that. But anyway, so they're doing that. Hiromi's leading that, kind of telling them where to go and stuff, and they're clearly working for Weekend. So they're going to be helping with fighting off the Gift Juniors and what have you. Um, and it's funny because they open the case and they show the demon's driver and the stamps there, and again, poor Tamaki's like, I would love to be a comet, and they're like, we gotta keep her submitted, and they don't like ignore him. They're like, we gotta, and they close the case. And like, we gotta keep our wits about us, blah blah. He's like, oh. There were some, and this is a bit spoilers too for the possible things happening in the summer movie. Um, there was some kind of like character poster thing that showed over demons. Well, actually, it showed all the riders, and then it was like who they were, like who they're, the person was that transforms into them, clearly the host, whatever, and then their transformed version, right? And it was like, Icky, Revi, Vice, and blah, blah, blah. Well, it showed over demons, and then the thing underneath it for the human was Tamaki instead of Ikaru. So people aren't sure if this summer movie takes place after the series, maybe. And odd that they don't show Gifford Rex. I wonder if they'll have to, like, sacrifice that power up to defeat Giff or something like that. Um, or it's just its own random goofy ass continuing continuity because God knows that the continuity in Rider is nothing, nor it's even more nothing and ridiculous to try and figure it out within the movies. Oftentimes they have nothing to do, like the one for Ghost where he got Tokan Boost in the movie, but differently from the show for some reason. Anyway, so um, that whole thing's going on, and we also get this pretty emotional scene, which I really liked myself, and I thought was pretty well acted. Um, and that was Genta and Yukimi. Finally, she tells them that she found all these gathered up pictures that Ikki was trying to keep from them with his picture not in it, with him not in it. and they ask him, they confront him about it, and he has to kind of come clean that uh, one second here. um, he has to come clean about the contract with Vice, and that he didn't know it, but that somehow the side effect of the contract is, when he uses Vice's power to transform and all of that, it's slowly taking away part of himself and erasing him from people's memory and blah blah blah. And so they're like, why didn't you talk about this before? And I don't remember them trying to tell him not to transform anymore, but I think they do once. And he's like, but listen, he's like, I know this is hard, I know this is tough, but I can't not transform. I can't not fight. I want to help keep people safe. I want to protect them, protect their smiles. I can't do that by sitting on the sidelines. I have to be involved. If that means that it's possible some people forget about me, I'm willing to do that as long as it means people are safe. Um, and I really like this. There's somebody online that was like, can they just add something to Revi? Can they just do anything with Icky and make him be? What do you mean do anything? Like, he's been a stalwart hero from the beginning. He's gotten his ass beat many times, and he's come back stronger. He's overcome obstacles, and he's had a decent arc from where he started at to where he is now. Where he started at not really wanting to be a writer, but kind of had to now it being his primary focus and wanting to use that power to help others. That's at the base of what Kamen Rider is. Utilizing these powers that are deemed evil, that are deemed abnormal or strange or demonic, and using them instead for good. I think that hits on that pretty well in this, being a 50th anniversary season, and in general hitting on the main concept that's at the core of most Kamen Rider seasons. Um, it's pretty emotional, and they're like hugging him, and they're really upset and sad and worried, and he's, they're worried about Daiji still and everything. And Gento walks away, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We also see that Daddy Karazaki Masumi is really, honestly, pretty close to death. Um, and he's like choking and stuff and whatever, and they're all leaving. He gives the glasses from Hikaru's dad to Hana and Sakura, actually, and Sakura finds him and they spar for a little bit, and she gives him the glasses, and she says, I know that this was tough for you to go through. I know this is hard, and that you guys did, somehow have some kind of a familial connection, even though you weren't related. But they wouldn't want you to stop. They wouldn't want you to give up. They would want you to keep fighting to get stronger. Not so much where you're putting yourself in danger, but they would want you to continue on, and that kind of pushes Hikaru forward, which is fine. Again, they're trying to elicit a response about these parent characters in Weekend that weren't even his real parents. And I don't understand why they're doing it the way they are, because we've never really gotten to know either of those people and why they're important to them. So I don't personally care. Like, sure, I'm sad a person's dead, but they're acting like we should have cared from the beginning. It was the same goofiness with Kagura I brought up a few times, where like that whole final episode where we get Holy Live is supposed to be like, oh, it's so sad Kagura's going, I guess, but like he's nothing more than the embodiment of evil within Daiji. So like, even though Daiji needs him right now to give him a slap in the face, um, they acted like it was like really sad and like it's supposed to be heartfelt and like tug at your heartstrings, but you know, um, anyway, that stuff aside, Demon Troopers are doing their things. Blah blah blah. Veil comes in, is just decimating them along with Akaishi, um, and the suits are cool. I like the designs. They're like basically the demons or the over demon suit with like a visor thing, like sticker thing over it to make it look a little different, which I think is good. And it means that the over demon and demon suits themselves aren't trashed. Because usually when they make kit bash suits with stuff like that, that means the original suit is toast. Like literally in real life, like they won't use it for anything else. So anyway, um, move on, and Icky and Vice they go into their ultimate Revice form to fight Akaishi in his monster form and Veil, and also Daiji comes in, and but not to worry, because Hana comes in because she can fly with her Queen Bee form, Kamen Rider Aguilera, and she ends up fighting Daiji, and he says, why are you doing this? And she just tells him to shut up at first, and he knows, like, he asks again, he's like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to stop me? And she basically throws it back in. She's like, why are you doing this? He's like, what are you talking about? She goes, because. He's like, why are you doing this? He goes, well, you want to know why? I'm doing this because I don't want your sister to cry anymore. She's crying every day because she doesn't know if you're going to ever come back to them, or if you're going to die on the side of villains and people that are not your true allies. And I'm hoping even something like that, even though he doesn't know her well, it's like coming from a random source, something like that will break through. I don't know. They're starting to drag this a little bit with Daiji, and I hope it comes to a decent conclusion. But I like that she had something to say about it too. She actually honestly nearly kicks his ass herself, which is kind of funny. Um, but anyway, getting back to the fight, Vale is of course nearly destroyed again. He gets away barely, and it's really goofy because they do their final attack thing, their final Gifford strike or whatever, and they hit Akaishi once with it. They go to do it again, and he just like ducks under them, and then just like runs away like a little bitch. I don't know why. It's really stupid to me. Again, it adds more to like the Looney Tunes ass like twiddling mustache goofy villain thing where it's like, but actually I had a super anti final attack coat on, so that means you can't like. It's just weird, but it wasn't bad as a result. But the final part is what was most interesting to me. We see Genta had left his family a little bit ago, had walked away and was going to go out and do stuff, whatever. And sorry, one second. he meets up with George, and he has the Vale driver with him. He says, "George, I have a request for you." He's like, "What?" It's like, "I'm going to confront Vale. Is there any way that you can help me, power up or change, modify this driver so I can become stronger, so I can settle things for once and for all?" And he's like, "Sure, or I guess," and doesn't really know. If you don't know, spoilers again for the movie and for what we're seeing in the show a little bit, the Vale End driver, or whatever it's called, is supposed to have some attachment that this blue attachment thing that when you look at it, certainly it looks like it says 25, which is the exact number of years before the series started that he was originally Kamen Rider Vale and last time he transformed. Kind of a cool little nod, and clearly 25 is 50. So it'll be known as Kamen Rider Deathstream. And then some rumors were talking about Masumi giving something to Vale to give him basically a recolored red Jack Revice form, which looks cool, and I'm happy to see that get repurposed because we haven't seen it in a while. But yeah, I don't know why Masumi would do that. I would think he would want to give all the power to Genta because Vale's a psychopath and a monster that everybody would be better off with dead. So I don't know how that's all gonna work out. Like if it's Genta that does it, is that gonna kill Genta or not? Is there a connection severed? Is it gonna? I'm thinking it's gonna be like a last minute thing where it's like something that George built into the driver was able to separate their bond or something like that. I don't know. I just hope that dad doesn't die. We also see randomly at the end, Masumi comes onto the battlefield with a weekend driver and the Triceratops stamp and clicks it, and then that's it before the episode ends. So I don't think he's going to be able to transform before he just dies because he's close to death anyway. But I don't think we also need another rider at this point. Um, but still, overall, a decent episode. I will say that the acting is getting a lot better. The story is doing much better than it was. We're starting to see the, close in on the final, run here to the end. Um, so I really do like that. I think the emotions are good. There's high stakes right now. And I think they're doing some interesting things with Daiji and overall with the dichotomy between him and Ikki and just the differences between how the characters are handling their stress right now. And especially Ikki revealing to his parents what's going on with him disappearing and all that, I think is really cool. So overall, probably give it probably is still a decent like 9 out of 10, maybe an 8.5. I'd be fair with that. An 8.5 out of 10. Not a terrible episode, still much better and still a step up from what we had in the 30s. But I'm still hoping that I'm not going to be underwhelmed by how things end. I still really like the season, and it's still going to probably make it into close to my top 5, maybe just number 5 itself, just because I do like the show and its aesthetic and its premise and everything. And bits of the story are decent, but like I said, hopefully they have a way to kind of bring it all home here, home stretch, and make it awesome. And if not, then I will eat my shirt. I don't wear hats. I don't know. Eat that picture back there. I don't know. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this week's episode. Did you love 41? Did you hate it? Are you not with Daiji? Are you with him? Do you think his character arc's getting any better? What do you think is going to happen with Vale and Genta? Let me know in the comments. Love to guys hear your guys' comments and everything. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting, watching the video, of course. I appreciate you guys so much. This week will be also my Don Brothers review. Other than that, I don't know if I'll have a ton of time for other content. I'm going to try to get something out about the Digivice V Vital Bracelet a little bit, just kind of talk about my experience with it and how much I like it. Reviewish, sort of. And I might try to get a Star Wars video out this week. Those didn't perform the best in my opinion, but I still might get one out about the first KOTOR and why people should give KOTOR 2 a break and try it at least. Um, but again, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, stay hooked on them engines. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.